So Nintendo Music is definitely an interesting phenomenon when it comes to Nintendo. The music they make is brilliant, but the music app, let's be honest, is kind of an interesting take. So in this video, I'm going to go over the app and give you my thoughts on it now that they've had a huge update, adding 26 soundtracks in one go. I'm going to tell you what I think about it and whether or not you should be actually checking out Nintendo Music or whether or not I feel like it still needs some work. So let's start with the obvious fact. This service is available via the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack and Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions. So it doesn't matter which one you have, which tier, you will still be able to access the music catalogue, which is, I think, is a nice plus. I also feel it's nice that you can actually check out, these soundtracks on many different games, anything from the NES up until the Switch. I will note, though, that there are no soundtracks after 2023. Obviously, the games are from 1984 to 2023 at the time we're making this video, which is a huge range of games from that time. Games from, obviously, the NES up to the Switch. It's nice. The only systems that are missing from the lineup are the Virtual Boy and the Nintendo Switch 2. But I do feel like, at least with the Nintendo Switch 2, those soundtracks will come within time. Now, my issue with it is obviously the fact that, despite, being able to do stuff like looping the music for 60 minutes, and it being available for free with Switch Online and the Switch Online expansion pack, which I think is quite good because obviously how small scale is, I do feel like we still need a bit more work. Most of the popular franchises for Nintendo are represented. There are Kirby songs, there are Mario songs, Donkey Kong songs, Zelda songs. There's even Pokemon songs, which I thought Pokemon was going to be a strange one to try and get because obviously due to the Pokemon Company. I also think it's quite interesting that obviously there are some even more obscure soundtracks like Kid Icarus, for example, like the Famicom Disk System version of that song. There's just genuinely a great lineup of songs here, but it's still, baby steps. There are still so many songs that are missing and so many soundtracks and games that just haven't got their libraries on here. I always think it's kind of strange that some soundtracks are repeated twice because they were on both the, say, Wii U and the Switch. Those, for example, Breath of the Wild appears on the Switch section and the Wii U section. And I do feel they'll probably end up doing that again with the Switch 2 versions of the same game. So I hope that Nintendo finds a way to sort of, less, push it, where if it was ported to two different systems, it shows them both of them, but obviously when you actually look at the overall listing of just the songs, it only appears once instead of it appearing 2 or 3 times on down the list. Now, I think the lineup of songs so far is alright. If they had launched it with this lineup, I feel like it would have been a lot better. I do think that they need to just push out more content, continue the releases, but also speed it up a little bit. Instead of doing 1 a week, maybe do 2 or 3 a week, because obviously Nintendo's got a huge library of songs. And as we noticed with the NES, drop, a lot of these soundtracks are very small in scale, thanks to obviously NES and Game Boy and Super Nintendo, soundtracks. So hopefully they sort of drop a load more of them, and then they can just sort of start pushing forward with obviously the bigger soundtracks for Wii U, Wii, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, guys, I think this service, for what it is, and for the fact that it is offered for free with your Switch Online subscription, I think it's decent. I think it's not insanely bad, but it is no Spotify killer. It is not designed to kill Spotify, and I do think that this is quite an interesting idea for Nintendo to do it. I feel like Nintendo is one of the 2 major media companies who could have their own little music app, and it be widely successful. Now, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. What do you think? Do you think Nintendo Music is worth checking out? Do you reckon it's good? Do you reckon it's bad? What do you think? I've been EC. Like I said, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And I'm signing out. Peace.